All right, guys, so the question on everybody's mind is brokers like Robinhood even necessary anymore with the emergence of free trades being offered by some of the major brokerages out there? The question is really coming to surface, is some of these discount brokers, are they worth it anymore? Are they worth opting for their service just for the few things that they deliver on? And I thought you all would benefit from my perspective on this a little bit. I've been investing for quite some time, and this is really aimed at my subscriber base. I want to make sure that you guys get my perspective on this topic. I'm going to be coming out with many more videos on the major brokerages driving towards zero. It seemingly is a race to zero, with everyone reducing or eliminating trading fees, which is just awesome for the individual investor. But Robinhood was really one of the first to the market for this. They've been able to capture the audience of around 6 million traders. Now they are looking to really get to those entry-level investors, a very easy platform to use. So that was really the intrigue surrounding the Robinhood product when it made the disruptor list when it was first introduced. And they are knocking on the door here to enter into and become a publicly traded company as their IPO is scheduled and queued up for release here. That'll be an interesting one here to watch. But the question of this video really for you guys to ask yourself is Robinhood worth it? Now, for the 6 million people out there that are enjoying the product, I'm not meaning to say that it is or is not a benefit to those. You guys are all capable of making your own decisions when it comes to the investing platform that you opt for. Please just keep this in mind. The landscape is changing so quickly, and what may have been a good option just a couple years ago may be becoming obsolete, and they're becoming obsolete very, very quickly. And I know people want to get comfortable with the platform that they're using. They get familiar with the aesthetics of the platform, that, you know, they get into the habits of using the platform, and they feel comfortable with using the platform. But I think there's a real value in maintaining some awareness on what some of the other platforms are offering and making sure that you're getting all the services that you want out of your broker. All right, so the number one thing with Robinhood, and I've said this for many, many years since Robinhood came out, they've offered the allure to new investors of being able to invest in the stock market for free. The problem with that is the fees that are charged behind the scenes by Robinhood, and a lot of you guys are going to be like, wow, hold on, time out, Ryan, it's free, I invest for free. Not necessarily true. The prices that you're paying on your Robinhood application are absolutely higher than some of your major brokerage houses, and there's a reason for this. The bid-ask spreads are something that I need you guys to do some of your own research, and that they're probably charging the individual investors a small premium, sometimes as small as a few cents, maybe 1 or 2 pennies on your order higher. Now, this may not impact you, or it may not seemingly impact you when you're making your trade. And again, their target audience is for folks that are beginning investors, so they are not going to notice this difference in their account per se. But when compared to some of the other brokers, and you compare the large orders that are basically being cleared by Citadel that represents Robinhood, the difference is absolutely alarming. Some statistics that I was able to read show that Robinhood charges upwards of 60 times more for those big block trades that are going through the clearinghouses after those large orders are queued up. Guys, that's really alarming. It really is, and it takes note. Now, for small investors that are doing just a few shares here and there, buying for the long term and holding for the long term, that can work for you, okay? You're not going to notice this very often. But the problem I have is really the lack of visibility behind the scenes from Robinhood. These larger brokerages are having to disclose this information as to what they're doing as far as returning that capital or investing it back into the business. Now, Robinhood justifies taking this in the bid-ask transaction by investing back into their business, okay? Always ask yourself, is it really free, and is it too good to be true? In most cases, you'll find that there's always a way. Robinhood is a for-profit company, so they're making money somehow And those research articles are actually readily available online. You can choose that out. I would research that before you opted for a product like Robinhood when you're asking yourself the question, is Robinhood really necessary anymore in today's investing landscape? Number two is probably my biggest critique of Robinhood is that they still do not offer retirement accounts. Now, what I said at the top of this video is they are aiming to get to new investors. That's really their target audience. And again, they've grown that audience to up to around 6 million customers. To me, that is absurd. You can go to any place. Opening up a brokerage account is just as easy as anything that you could ever do. It's just as simple, okay? Opening up a retirement account should be the primary thing that you look to do when you're starting investing. The self-directed Roth IRA account is what I look for new investors to look at, and that should be your primary option. And it should be your primary option up to the point where you're comfortable maximum funding that Roth IRA and tax protecting those dollars going forward. Then after you're comfortable max funding your Roth and retirement account, then you can branch off and put some surplus capital into a joint brokerage account or a taxable brokerage account, whatever's most appropriate for you. But it should not be in the reverse order, guys. Seemingly there's 6 million customers out there who have opted to invest in the reverse order than what I contend is the right way to invest. And getting exposure to the stock market and opting into a product like Robinhood that is easy to use just does not make muster for me. It is not a good enough excuse just to get people exposure to the stock market because they don't know anything and they need a 101 tutorial from Robinhood or a platform that's super easy to use by opting for Robinhood. That's not good enough for me. I would contend that the new investor could do a lot more to increase their awareness of what strategies they can deploy to succeed in the stock market much easier than opting in for a Robinhood product, which they may or may not understand the tax implications of trading short in and out of Robinhood. So it's almost kind of a catch-22 in that you're entering into a product like Robinhood thinking that you're going to buy and sell in and out of stock, and you may not fully understand the tax implication there of short-term trading. And the last thing I want to talk about is the customer service. Nowadays, poor customer service is something that anybody does not have to put up with, all right? And there was some reports online that there's some customer service. Now, Robinhood does have a customer service, but they're only reachable via email. And some of the response times were up to 48 hours, all right? 2 days before you can get a response with regard to your question pertaining to your account. That is unsatisfactory in today's landscape, guys. And here's the thing, with this customer service aspect and everything else that I've talked to you guys with, in my personal opinion, Robinhood is actually obsolete, okay? It will work for the new investor. It will get you exposure to the stock market. It will get you that exposure at a higher than average premium to other market orders that you put in. Robinhood's going to charge you that premium. But in my particular case, with the emergence of major brokerage houses like Ally, Charles Schwab, and others reducing and eliminating that entry and exit fees to buy and sell stock, the question really becomes, can Robinhood stand on its own with the products and the aesthetics that they have on their platform? I contend no. And I've always contended, with the reasons that I've just declared to you guys, especially my subscriber base, that Robinhood really was never a good application for investors. Look, if they're targeting new investors and they're getting invested in an application that doesn't provide a retirement account, but providing an opportunity for you to negotiate 200 or 300 transactions per year, is that really beneficial for beginning investors? I contend not. So when we are looking to answer the question, is Robinhood really worth it? I really contend that it is an application that has quickly come and it has quickly become obsolete, in my particular opinion. And I think new investors really need to do their research across the landscape and try to pick that broker, major broker, with the data, the analytics, the customer service, the retirement accounts, everything that they offer and have offered for years that Robinhood seemingly is stuck having to stand on one leg on right now, with the emergence of these large brokerage houses offering these cutting edge service to new investors. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the video here. Hit the subscribe button for me. Help me support the message. Leave the comments if I've missed something. If you're a user of Robinhood, I'd love to hear your opinion on what you think. If you have a problem with my assessment of Robinhood, tell me why. I just think that new investors need to be aware of the totality across the landscape. And just what I said at the top of the video, the landscape is changing so radically. If you know somebody out there that has Robinhood or uses it and maybe could benefit from this information, share the message with them, have them watch the content and see if they agree with my assessment on whether or not Robinhood is necessary in today's investing environment. I contend that it is not. Thank you guys for tuning into the video, and good luck in your investment future.